Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the NH Experience. And on today's show, I have a special guest once again. You heard this man on Power 106, scratching and tearing it up on the ones and twos. You've also heard him with the LA Leakers. That's right, the world famous LA Leakers. You can catch him every Sunday on Sirius XM, dropping down his playlist. He actually inspired me to create a playlist. And just an all around good guy. He's also doing some great things with Apple Music. We'll get into that, and we'll get into his journey on being a DJ and being known around West Coast circles and circles of music in general. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome the one and only B Eazy The DJ. What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Thank you for having me, Nick.
Hey, man, that's my pleasure, man. I'm glad you could come on, man. You know, you one of the busiest brothers out here, man. So I gotta catch you while I can, man.
Oh, I always got time for you, brother. Anytime. I'm a phone call
Appreciate it.
away from you.
Appreciate it, man. So let's get into a little bit of how you became a DJ. What inspired you to want to become a DJ? And what point did you know, okay, this is the pathway that I want to choose and I want to head down?
Um, as a kid, I always had a passion for music. I loved music. Um, I have a couple of family members that are in the music industry that were like a heavy influence to me. And I just grew up with the love and passion for music. I didn't really get into the rapping. I kind of was shy. Excuse me, I kind of was shy, so I kind of stayed in the background, but I was like, I loved playing music and listening to music. And once my uncle, rest in peace, Mixmaster Spade, kind of took the initiative to say, hey man, like, you know, do this. And I kept at the DJing um throughout the years. But he wanted me to rap also. He always told me like, man, you should rap. And I'm like, nah, I'm cool. Like I'm not gonna do that. Like I was too shy. I just wanted to play the music. And I stayed with it throughout the years as I got older. Um my first something a lot of people don't know, my first DJ name was DJ Ant. I couldn't figure out a name, so I thought that was like the coolest shit ever as a kid. So I that was my name, and I would go to the record store and buy like singles. This is when they were printing out the singles records,
Right.
the vinyls. And I would go get a record. They would see me. They were like, I got a new record for you. I buy a single, probably for like $5, $10. Go home and scratch. And I thought that that was like being a DJ. Um, but I still would like record Big Boy, over the radio. I would record Theo, the Baker Boys, um, Tito, the Goodfellas, Kool-Aid, just people that I grew up listening to. I would record them and like listen to their shows and listen to the music that they played. And as time went past, life happens and you get older and you start getting into things. I started when I was 14. And then my main goal after that was to graduate from high school. So um, after I graduated from high school, my uncle passed away, and that was kind of like a upsetting time for me because he was like a big influence for me in my life and culturally due to the profession that I chose. So that hit me hard, but I knew that I could make him proud if I kept doing what I was doing, and also make myself proud and hopefully provide an income for myself and eventually a family. So um, I moved to Vegas, and my brother told me, hey, they're doing auditions at the radio station. You should go. I was like, nah, man, they ain't about to hire me. He was like, man, just go up there and try it. And I went up there and I auditioned for the street team, and they loved me. And that's where my career in radio started officially, was in Las Vegas at High 97.5.
Okay.
They gave me my first opportunity to DJ events and become a street team member and eventually a street team supervisor. And that's where my DJ career started. And then I also met DJ Franzen, who was the one that really took me under his wing and showed me the art of DJing, how to scratch, how to blend, programming, just the things that I needed to know as a DJ, not just call myself a DJ. And it's been a wrap since then.
Yeah, man, you definitely taking off, man. You definitely continue as you continue to cruise higher and higher, man, to your desired altitude, as it were. But one thing I want to make note for people, that the generation that may not understand who your uncle truly is, he is one of the four founders of hip hop on the West Coast. You think about everybody thinks about Compton, obviously NWA, but you know you think about DJ Quick, MC8, and others. But
T.
Mixed Master Spade and Toddy T, King T,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people that came out of that sector.
DJ Cool.
Yeah, DJ Pool. I mean, a lot of people came out of that sector, man. They are responsible. They are the ones we should be thanking for keeping this West Coast hip hop, getting started and be able to progress. Because without them, man, where would we be?
And I feel like they don't get enough credit. They definitely,
absolutely.
Yeah, they definitely don't. And another interesting fact, one of my first cousins on my dad's side is DJ Yella from NWA.
Wow.
So that was my first introduction to a celebrity as a kid when we went to the family reunion, and everybody was like crowded around him. And I'm a kid, so of course I'm not familiar with NWA at that time, but like everybody is kind of like talking about him. So I'm like, damn, he must be the man. And like as I got a little older, I knew who Eazy-E was, but I just wasn't familiar with the group as a whole, because Eazy-E was like, to me, Eazy was like everything, man. But by that time, he was kind of working on all his solo stuff. He wasn't really doing the group thing. But yeah, like that's my first cousin on my dad's side.
So wait a minute. So you had Mixed Master Spade, God rest his soul. You had DJ Yella. I mean, you had to do this. This was already seemed like it was already destined for you to do this, man.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't really around Yella that much. Like I just knew of him, and I would see him, and I would go visit his mom with my dad, and we would go over to rest in peace to her. We would go over to the house, and I just remember every time I walk in, like they have one of them old school houses where you walk in and they got the den, and then you walk through the den and you go to the living room and all that, and like in the whole den it's nothing but like platinum plaques. Just plaques everywhere. It's crazy. That was the first time I seen plaques, when I went in his house.
Wow.
In his mother's house, excuse me. Just plaques everywhere. It was crazy. Just all over a wall, just on both sides.
So let's talk a little bit about your plight, going from Vegas, being on the street team, being in charge of the street team, and then you're hooking up with the LA Leakers with DJ Sour Milk and Just Incredible, because those guys are already just legends in itself. So how did you connect with them, and how did they welcome you into the fold to be able to expand your horizons as well?
Going through radio in Vegas, you meet people, and the radio industry is small of people that are really doing things. So from LA to Vegas isn't that far. I had a friend at the radio station there, Raging Asian. He was like, "Hey man, you back in LA? I'm gonna link you." So somebody linked me with Rage. We got cool because he used to work at the same station I was at in Vegas.
Okay.
When I got with Rage here, he was working at a station across from Power 106. So me and Rage chopping up. He's like, "Yo man, I'm gonna go introduce you to my boy Justin." I'm like, "All right, cool." We go over there. Justin's working. It's like 11 at night, I think. And Justin's over there going in. He's doing imaging for the radio station. Those are like the commercials and the sweepers and the shit that you hear between the music, different things like that. So he was doing that, and he just allowed me to come kick it and watch. And like I'm watching and work. I'm like, damn, this shit is pretty cool. And then he's doing like these celebrity interviews, and I'm like, yo, this shit is dope. And he's like, hey, if you want to come back tomorrow, I'll be here. Like, I ain't doing shit but working. Like, that's all I'm going to be doing. And if you want to help me with some stuff, come through. I was like, cool, I'm down. Shit, learn as much as I can. And I think from then on, we built a friendship. And it's like he's been super dope as far as just like being a friend, and also allowing me to showcase my talent and not holding me back. Like, I was there before he started DJing. When he started DJing, when they created the LA Leakers, I was there. And then I, of course, moved back to Vegas and then came back. But once I met him and met Milk, it was like they welcomed me with open arms. And just that one time turned into 11 years later, 12 years later, still on there every weekend, every Sunday. So it's been a blessing for them to do that for me and allow me to showcase my talent and you know, and be a part of something as big as the LA Leakers. And over the years, like I would just always go up to Power, and then eventually I ended up working there, and it was just about networking. Like to anybody that's in this industry, they know how important networking is. And I knew that at an early age, and I just network, and built relationships with people, and tried to keep the relationships as good as possible, and not burn any bridges. So it's been a great journey, and I'm very appreciative of what the LA Leakers, Las Vegas High 97.5, Power 106, and Shade 45 have done for me over the years.
Talk about some of the memorable experiences you had up there with the LA Leakers, because you talked about the interviews. Obviously, they have some of the best interviews, some of the best freestyles from artists that come through there. Even, you know, not just music artists, but they've had you know, just entertainers. They've had, you know, even some athletes that have come through there. What were some of the memorable experiences that you had that you were able to connect with?
Man, there's so many. Man, from talking to 2 Chainz about Mustard producing, and then him hopping on I'm Different after that. When he came to LA, he was asking like who was the hottest producers, and I was sitting with him and talking with him. Things like that, to being around Nip, meeting Nip, and building a relationship with Nip. Being around YG, just so many, from Rick Ross, Dave East, Drake. Like that was, I first met Drake at Power, and I was sitting right next to him the whole time he was doing his interview, and during the commercials we would just talk. And I was at that time I had a blog, and I showed him my blog, and the name of the blog was Pay Me in Gold, and I took that reference from one of his songs. And I was like, yo, I got this blog and I took a reference from your song. He was like, word, let me see. And I showed it to him. He's like, yo, that's dope. He was like super cool. He could have shunned me off, but he was very dope, very cool, supportive. And yeah, it's so many memories, man. It's hard to like put them in one spot. But yeah, I have a lot of amazing memories. But the most memorable is the times that I was able to spend with Nip and build with Nip. Because I definitely miss him a lot.
Oh man, the whole city misses him, man. I mean, especially I've talked to people like DJ Head and Chuck Dizzle, the guys that have been around him.
Those are my guys too. Shout out to them. They also let me come on their show and DJ too on Homegrown Radio. Shout out to them.
Absolutely, man. And then, so what are some of the key essentials that we don't see, but that you learned from Nip that helped you elevate yourself, not just your career, but yourself as a man?
Every time I would see Nip, I felt like he was so informative. So I would always ask him a question, or always say, hey man, what do you think about this? And one day I asked him, like, you know, what is some advice you can give me on being a DJ and a producer, and kind of like the struggle, because it's not easy. People think they see DJs and producers and think, oh yeah, it's easy, you're a DJ. Oh yeah, you're a producer. You have this amount of money, or you're rich, or you're that. And it's like, it's not like that. It's definitely, it's like you're your own contractor, you know. So you have to go out and get work and make sure, because you're your own boss a lot of the time. So I asked him, like, what advice do you have for me? And he said simple and plain, he's like, man, just don't give up. Like, just keep going. It's like, times to get hard, you know, things that feel weird, but he said, just keep going. Like, don't give up on what you got. And and that sat with me for a long time. It still sits with me to this day. And then the last time I seen him, he thanked me for the stuff that I've done for him and his friends that are also in the industry. And it's just it's reassuring to know that like people see the work that you do. And it's a blessing, you know, even no matter how much money you got. It's like, it's not even about that. It's about doing something that you love and people recognizing you for it. It feels great, you know?
Absolutely. No, absolutely. I mean, it's well deserved as well, man. You talk about just meeting various people throughout the industry, you know, that's never an easy thing either. So you being at the right place at the right time, man, it was incredible for you, I'm sure. Talk a little bit about your relationship with DJ Quick. I mean, Quick is a legend. He's a producer, engineer, musician.
Everything. The genius.
Yeah, he absolutely is. But I mean, he doesn't have a large circle of people. So for you to be in his circle, how did you guys cultivate that relationship?
So that actually it came from a few friends. Mike and Keys introduced me to Uncle Dave Foreman, which is a legendary bass player. He played on 24 Karat Magic, Getting Jiggy with It. A lot of legendary shit, you know. Just those two songs alone is just fucking legendary anyway. But I was in the studio with Mike and Keys, and they introduced me to Uncle Dave, and me and Uncle Dave got really close. And he's like, nephew, man, we gonna do this, do that. I'm like, man, I'm with it, Uncle Dave. Whatever you want to do, brother, because he's such an amazing bass player. Like, he's just amazing. His ear is crazy, and he does it flawlessly. Like, he plays the bass and guitar like flawlessly. So we ended up working together, and then he worked a lot with Quick. And then he's like, hey, I'm gonna be in the studio with Quick, come through. And then I just, you know, I would go through and hang out with him and Quick. And me and Quick started building a relationship. And I honestly, sometimes I trip out like, damn, man, I grew up in Compton watching The Box, music television that you control.
Right.
You get quick videos, just sitting there like, damn, this shit is like, that's what I was listening to. And to be able to call him or to be able to FaceTime with him or shoot a DM and just even say that that's my friend, it means a lot, because to me, in my eyes, he's a legend. And I look up to him in this industry for what he's done. And I feel like he's done so much and created and opened doors for so many people and so many sounds. And he's an amazing person. He's very smart, and I value our relationship. He's a dope individual.
Oh, absolutely, man. DJ Quick to me is one of the most brilliant, musicians that we've seen in our time and space.
His
And I
ear
don't.
is amazing.
Oh, I mean, you can just hear it in his records. Like, I have no idea what it's like behind the scenes. Obviously, you do, but to me, he still doesn't get the proper credit and respect and just due that he deserves. Just as one of the legends that he is in this game and in humanity as a whole, man.
Yeah, I've been in the studio with him, watching him create. I've engineered. I had the blessings to help engineer some stuff he was working on. Just sit behind the boards and him show me things like, hey, do this, press this, turn that down. This is what you do when this happens, and this is how you do this. And I'm like, man, like, to get those notes, or like going to a basketball camp and Phil Jackson, like, hey, man, do this and do this. Like, all right, whatever you say. So it's definitely a blessing, man. I really, really appreciate that relationship a lot.
Man, you have so many valuable relationships that I've noticed. I mean, like I said, you and I connect. I think we met the first time we actually got a chance to meet was like LA Live. And the fact that you were one of the most down to earth dudes, and you owned Power 106 at that time, you were part of the LA Leakers at that time. But the fact that you were just down to earth, man, I understand why you've been able to accumulate so many relationships, man. And I think a lot of young people need to take note on how you handle yourself and conduct yourself, because I think that's a very key component in being able to be successful, and not only in the industry, but in life.
Yeah, it's definitely, you have to handle yourself accordingly, especially when it comes to business. Like, I mean, we had a conversation off air about a few things, and I just feel it's important to just try to be good to people and treat others with respect and try to show love and not be a bad person, because the things that you do, they come back to you. Sure. And I feel like if you support people and help people with a genuine heart, those things, they may not come back to you right away, but the skies above definitely open up for you and bless you when you need it. And I always believe in just, first and foremost, just being a good person. I think that that's very important for everybody.
Oh, absolutely, man. You've been able to be in some really good company. I mean, we've seen you, like you said, you mentioned the late great Nipsey Hussle. You talked about YG, being around DJ Quick. Obviously, you know, GPerico, who's phenomenal.
My God. Yeah.
Thank you for that, by the way, because
Yeah.
for all y'all that don't know, B Eazy was gracious enough to have GPerico shout me out, man, on the video. So I always appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
Uh, he's a good brother, man. I'm glad to see he's continuing to, you know, keep the line pushing, and you know, with the blue T-shirt company and things of
Yeah.
that nature, man. He's definitely got an incredible business mind, that's for sure.
Yeah, he does. And a lot of the West Coast artists do, from Problem to
Oh
Don
yeah.
Kitty, Casey Veggies. It's so many, you know, J305. It's so many artists that are finding out, hey, like, we have to do something else other than just rap. Like, we have to do something else. And that's definitely a valuable asset in today's society, because even, you know, me and my fiance talk all the time about starting businesses and doing different things. And she has her business as a writer, and she's an author. She does books, and she said, "Hey, do you feel like doing a book?" I'm like, "Yeah." Like, we talked about that, and just going into different things other than what you already do, to create different streams of revenue, and
Absolutely.
also just make a difference too. You know,
That's key.
yeah, make a
Yeah.
difference in society. So I feel like those things are very important. You know, just finding out, hey, what you like to do, what you love to do, and then taking that and using that as an umbrella to do other things to keep yourself
Oh,
afloat.
absolutely. You talked about, and I agree with you. I think beyond the business, you have to be, you know, people based. And when
Yeah.
I see a lot of brothers doing that, including yourself, I see people like my man Sticks from Watts.
Yep.
I see,
Six. Oh my God.
you know, Joe Moses talking to his people and kind of educating his brothers on his
Joe
end.
Moses came a long way. I'm so proud of Joe.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Not only is he a great, you know, he's a good artist, man, and but I love seeing when he does his West Side Wednesdays clip when he talk to the brothers that in his
Oh yeah.
neighborhood and
Yeah.
trying to educate them and show them a different way. And that's what we're supposed to do. You're supposed to, okay, you go out here, you make it, elevate, get the bag, get the envelope, come back. Okay, now you show us how to farm. You show
Right.
us how to play.
Right.
And I think that's incredible to see. When I see you talking to people, man, when I see you out here engaging with people, man, and kind of sharing your experiences and giving them some education, man.
Yeah.
You know, that's crucial. We need that. When I see DJ Head giving out advice, when I see, you know, so many other people give out advice in this generation, man, from Problem to you know, Lil Bam out of Long Beach, you
Yeah,
know, to,
Bam.
you
Yeah.
know, guys like that, man, that are a little older but still connect with the generation, man. I think that's solely important.
Another valuable person that does a lot of that too is Fuzzy. Like, Fuzzy
Okay.
is a connector to a lot of, you know, the older and the younger generation, and just bridging the gap between a lot of things too. And he helped me build my relationship with Nip also. So like you said, it's about being a people person. It's about being a people person, and really not shutting doors, and kind of like, you know, a lot of people go by the motto, oh, I don't need no new friends, and I don't need this, and I don't need that. And it's like, yo, you never know who's gonna present an opportunity to you that might change your life in the blink of an eye.
Man, say that one more time for the people in the back, because I swear to God they don't get that.
Yeah, you never know who's gonna present an opportunity to you that could change your life in the blink of an eye. It could be somebody you just met that may not know you, and be like, hey, you do this? Oh, hey, I got this. Would you like to collab or anything? And it's like, a lot of those doors open up just by being a good person.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that's important, man. You can't close doors and expect, you know, the best out of what you're doing.
Absolutely, man. Two quick things before I let you get on out of here.
Yes, sir.
Is there anybody that you have yet to work with or establish yourself with that you have yet to come in contact?
I would say I would love to work with Wayne.
Okay.
I would love to work with Wayne. And I've come in contact with Drake, but Drake is one of my favorite artists. Like, me and his father are really close. Like we that's my guy. Of course, who don't want to work with Drake? But yeah, like Drake, Wayne, um, Weekend, you know, and Jay-Z too.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
major.
yeah,
That's major. Yeah,
yeah,
that's major. Yeah, man. I think those are great things, man. You have such an incredible ear for music, man. I look at your playlist every week, and I know that's people don't understand how difficult that can be because you got to find the right tracks. Make sure you searching for new music. What's
yeah.
your process like for putting your playlist together?
Um, I just go through music and I try to find the young talent and the untapped, resources of the
Mhm.
artists that are just out there just grinding and got good music, but just they need to be heard. And a lot of the times, there's a lot of good music out there, just that people they don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll go through songs. Artists send me songs all the time. I keep my ear to the streets with the artists that are out there that are doing what they do. And it's like, hey, if you got new music, send it to me. Let me check it out. And then I'll check it out. And it's like, yeah, I like this. This will go with this vibe this weekend. Or I may hear something on the radio, or I may hear something on satellite radio and Shazam it. Like, I like this. Or I may see something on YouTube or Instagram. Um,
Mm-hmm.
for those that are promoting on Instagram, I've been finding a lot of dope artists on Instagram through their promotions because just popping up in my feed. And I'm like, damn, who is this? This is dope artist. And I'll listen to their music and like it. So I usually just go through my songs and go through my most recent songs that I've downloaded or come across. And then sometimes I'll search for some also. Like, hey, I need to add some stuff and listen to the radio. It's tedious at first, but once you get in the habit of doing it, it just becomes second nature. You just take mental notes. Like if I hear something, I'll Shazam it and I'll screenshot it, or I'll take mental notes about it, like how I need to put this on the show, or I need to do this or do that. And that's how I build my list.
Awesome, man. Awesome, man. Well, you doing good stuff over at Apple Music. You're doing some great stuff at Sirius XM and with the LA Leakers and just working with that. And then, continuing to now you hosting mixtapes. I
Yeah.
mean, you're producing now. I
Yep.
mean, you just continue to grow, man. And I'm so proud of you. I'm so glad to know you.
Thank
Glad to see you elevating, man. That's awesome.
thank you. And I appreciate you for reaching out to me and just being a good friend because we've been cool since we met. And
Man,
I appreciate the opportunity of me being on your platform.
hey man, you know what? Hey, we've been A1 since day one. So I mean, it's only right, brother. Like I said, man, I just want to see you to continue to grow. And in 5 years from now, where do you think you will be 5 years from now?
5 years from now, I plan on being the number one producer in the world, number one DJ in the world, owning real estate, multiple businesses with my wife and kids, and having just a big house and just enjoying life and going on vacations and running my businesses from my computer, checking in and sipping mimosas and all that fun stuff, man. But also being a positive influence, and not only to my culture but my people also, and helping people that need it, like the DJs, the kids that want to become DJs and
Right.
want to know things, and just being a mentor also, more so than just a business owner and somebody just around making money and not doing nothing to give back. So
Absolutely.
that's where I see myself 5 years from now, being on top of my game, being wealthy, multiple properties, in real estate, doing everything I can to generate income and create awareness and help not only myself but others.
Hey man, well, it's been a pleasure speaking with you, man. I look forward to seeing you in 5 years and on the way to 5 years. And let everybody know where they can continue to follow you and keep up with all your great work, man.
You can follow me at B Eazy The DJ on Instagram. BEAZY The DJ on Instagram, and all my social media is the same. It's all BEAZY The DJ. So that's easy with a Z. Shout out to Easy E, rest in peace. That's where I got the Z from, and the easy part. So one of my
So,
friends, my boy Easy called me B Easy, as when we was in high school, and I stayed with it. So yeah, B Easy The DJ, um, on all social media platforms, and that's
all
where you
right.
can catch me.
All right. Well, there you have it. The one and only Be Easy the DJ. Thank you so much for your time, my man, and we'll definitely talk soon.
Thank you, man. And I'll talk to you soon. And it'll be quicker than 5 years for sure.
Oh, most definitely.